So today we are going to move past graphing in slope-intercept form to writing equations in slope-intercept form. So we're going to review again what that means. So an equation that's in slope-intercept form gives you the slope and the y-intercept in the actual equation. Very easy to identify. So to write an equation in slope-intercept form, those are the two pieces of information you need to put it together into an equation. So we're going to follow the same three steps, and we're going to see a variety of different information we're given in order to write an equation in this form. So we'll always follow the same steps. We'll identify the slope, we'll identify the y-intercept, and then we'll plug that information into the form y equals mx plus b to write our equation. So sometimes we'll be just straight out given the slope and the y-intercept. Very easy to write this as an equation if this is what we're given. So we would find that the slope in this case is -1/4. The y-intercept is 7, very clear to see because it's given to us. All we have to do now is substitute the slope in for the m, so that would be the coefficient to x, and the y-intercept is our b value. So putting that all together into an equation, we get y equals -1/4 x plus 7. Very easy to write it when we're given the two pieces of information we need. Here's another example. You can go ahead and pause your video and write the equation in slope-intercept form for a line with a slope of -3 and a y-intercept of -5. Pause your video now. All right, so your slope was -3, so it replaces the m in the equation, and your y-intercept is -5. So you could have also written this, plus -5. That works too. So you would replace that -5 with the b, and there's your equation. So there are times that you are not just given the slope or given the y-intercept, and you have to find them. So in this case, we want to write the equation in slope-intercept form for a line that passes through these 2 points. Well, we still follow the same steps. So we still want to find the slope, find the y-intercept, and plug the information in to our equation. This time we're going to have to do a little work though, but we know how to do all of this. So the first thing is finding our slope, and we're given 2 points. So when we are trying to find the slope of a line that goes through 2 points, we just use our slope equation and find the difference of our y values divided by the difference of our x values and actually calculate our slope. So in this case, here's our y values. Remember, it's always the difference of y on the numerator. That's 3. And you're dividing by the difference of your x values, which is always on the denominator. So in this case, our slope is -3. So you just used what you learned in previous sections here to solve for your slope. So step 1's done. We know that the slope is -3. So now we're going to have to do a little work to figure out what b would be. So we're going to use what we just found out. So far, we look at our equation, y equals mx plus b. We know the m. We know that it's -3 because we solved that already. We confirmed using our slope formula that the slope is -3. So I can plug that in here. Problem is, I don't know what b is yet. The good thing is I've been given 2 points. And in each of these 2 points, I'm given an x value and a y value. Here's another x value and a y value. So if I substitute an x in for the x right here and a y in for the y here from 1 point, I can actually solve for b to figure that out. I'm going to use that point, 6, 3. So I'm going to use x equals 6 and y equals 3 and figure out what I get for b. So if I substitute that in, I have to remember that my y is over here, so don't make the mistake of putting the 6 here and the 3 here for x just because of order. So I'm substituting that in. I'm just going to continue to simplify. So negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. So I have to add 18 to both sides to solve for b. And in this case, I get b is equal to 21. Now, the good thing is you can choose either point and you'll get the same answer. So if I had substituted 7 here for x and 0 for y, I also would have gotten b equals 21. So when you're solving for b, you can choose whichever of the 2 points you'd like to substitute in to solve for b. But we are done with step 2. So we know our slope is negative 3, our y-intercept is 21. Now it's the easy part, just plugging it all into our equation. So we put negative 3 here for m, put 21 in here for b, and we get the equation y equals negative 3x plus 21. So we're going to try this one. So go ahead and try to solve this one on your own. So we're going to start with finding the slope. Your 2 points that the line will go through are 3, 0, and 6, negative 3. So solve using your slope-intercept form or your slope formula first, and then play the video again to check that you got the correct slope, and then we'll move on to the second step. So go ahead and pause and find your slope. All right. So if you used your slope formula correctly, you would have had negative 3 minus 0. Remember, difference of y's divided by 6 minus 3, which is the difference of your x's. Simplify all that, and we end up with the slope is negative 1. And I can plug that in right to my equation. So far, I have my m value. So now I just need to find my b value. Pause now, double check your work, make sure that you're finding your slope correctly. All right, so now that I know my slope is negative 1, I'm going to find my y-intercept. I want you to go ahead and pause the video now and try to solve for b. Remember, we use one of these 2 points, and it doesn't matter which one, because each of them are an x and a y to substitute in along with our slope, which is negative 1. Try to solve for b. When you're done, check your work. All right, so let's see how you did. So we have to remember that this is what we're starting with. We have negative 1 in for m, and I'm just going to choose this point here, 3, 0. Again, it doesn't matter which of the points I choose, you'll get the same value. So I have to remember my first number is my 3, so it goes in here where the x is. Second number is 0, and that's going in here where the y is. When I substitute all that in, this is what I get, and then I just continue to simplify, which would be negative 3 here. So I'd have to add 3 to both sides to get my b value of my b value of 3. Putting the two together is the last step. So go ahead and write your equation, knowing that your slope now is negative 1, and your b value is 3. Pause the video if you need to. And we should get y equals negative 1x plus 3. All right. So we're going to do this next one. I want you to do the whole thing on your own. So you're using the 2 points 4, negative 2, and negative 2, negative 14. Pause the video, work out all 3 steps, which is first finding your slope. Second, using your slope and one of the 2 points to find your b value or your y-intercept, and then putting them all together into an equation. Start the video again when you're ready to check your whole solution. All right, so finding your slope, you should have gotten 2. I chose to use the point 4, negative 2, and I solved for b and got that to be negative 10. And then putting that together, I get y equals 2x minus 10 or plus a negative 10, same thing. All right, so today you learned how to write an equation in slope-intercept form, and you know how to graph that as well from yesterday or Tuesday's lesson. So that's it for today.